Let's take some time to refresh our memories on how to calculate the slope of a line. Slope measures the steepness of a line, and when you have a graph, the best way to calculate it is by doing rise over run. This rise word is a little misleading because in the case where your slope is negative, you're actually going to have to drop. Another way we can calculate is if we have points, we could subtract our y values and divide that by the answer that we get from subtracting our x values, which means change of y. This little symbol in math is a delta symbol. That means change. So it's showing how are our y values changing divided by how our x values are changing. For the graphs, let's take the easiest way out and calculate the slope by doing rise over run. When you do rise over run, you start with the leftmost point and you draw a triangle. So because this line is going up, it's increasing, that's why I'm rising. Never make your triangle so that you run first. This case, so we're going up 2, so I'm going to put a positive 2, and it's over. We're running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the slope of this line is going to be 2 over 5. Another way that and it's positive. Another way that we express slope sometimes is by using the variable m. You're going to have to know that for your equations. So our slope is a positive 2 over 5. Let's go to example 2. So for example 2, to get from this point here, we actually have to go down. So this is going to have a negative slope because we're going down. We're going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. So that'd be negative 6 and over 2 units. The slope of this would be negative 6 over 2. But we can actually simplify that. We know that negative 6 divided by 2, like you can divide 2 into both of them, right? So that's going to give us negative 3 over 1. And then doing that, negative 3 divided by 1 is just negative 3. So the slope of this line is negative 3. The reason we had all this complicated simplification is because if you notice and look really carefully, there's actually an extra point in the middle. If you were to find the slope from here to here, that would actually give you negative 3 over 1. So it would skip that step. So if there are legitimate points in the middle of your line, feel free to use those just to make life a little easier. That's how you would calculate the slope of a line when you are given a graph. When you're given points, it's not that it's harder, it's just that we're going to use a formula. And to find the slope of a line when you're given points, we're going to use the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Where these x2s, y2s, y1s come from are your point. So this is the first point. So this is going to give us x1 and y1. This is our second point. So this is going to give us x2 and y2. And I'm going to underline the red ones for the y, and then we're going to give the color blue to our x's. All right, so let's try this. y2 is 6. So this would be 6 minus y1 is 10, just look like that, divided by, let's look at our x's, this would be negative 2 minus positive 5. Now we're going to simplify our answer. 6 minus 10 is negative 4, and negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7. And then we should know that 2 negatives in math actually create a positive, so our final slope would be 4 over 7. And that's it. Let's try example 4. This time I'm not going to color code it, but I'll continue to label it. So we have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So we have 0 minus negative 8. Now underline these over our x's, which is 9 minus the negative 1. 2 negatives we should know in math actually create a positive in both cases. So that's going to give us 8 over 10. Looks like you're done, but always try to simplify. You can divide both of these numbers by 2, which is going to give us 4 over 5. And that is our slope. We're doing great. One more example. Promise you're going to thank me for doing this if you forgot how to do it because you're going to see it on your final quiz. Last thing is I'm not going to actually label them. We're just going to kind of go straight into it. Y'all can do this. X2 minus x1. I always notice I write my 2's and my y's differently. Right, so y2, that's that one. So it's -7 minus a -4 over x's are the first ones. 1 minus 3. Two negatives make a positive, right? -7 plus 4 is going to give us a -3. 1 minus 3 gives us a -2. And again, two negatives create a positive. So our slope is 3/2. And that's that. That's how you find the slope of lines given points and graphs.